Right, we're back live with you tonight on In Focus, and thanks for staying on. The Ukrainian Association of South Africa condemns the country's decision to invite Russia to participate in a naval exercise. The association says they will be protesting this week to demonstrate anger over South Africa's continued involvement with Russia. For more on this, we are now joined by Katya Fedkina, Ukrainian Association of South Africa's spokesperson. Katya, good evening, and thank you for your time. Who is the Ukrainian Association of South Africa?
The Ukrainian Association of South Africa was registered as NPO in 2017. It unites Ukrainians and South Africans from different provinces. Our mission is to be an association based on rich Ukrainian cultural heritage that promotes network between Ukraine and South Africa. Well, in the past year, since the full invasion of Ukraine by Russia, we've been working on bringing awareness to the true story and to the real situation. We've been calling the South African government to allow Ukrainians to come to stay with their families in South Africa. And, well, we've been aiming to provide humanitarian aid to Ukraine. Together with the Gift of the Givers, we've been working a lot on that one.
So tell us about this engagement with the South African government. Have they been receptive to your reaching out?
Not really, no, not at all. It's been quiet. If you say that way.
So your suggestion to have some Ukrainian comes to South Africa, would you say, has been outrightly rejected by the South African government?
It's not rejected, but it hasn't been made easier. While the whole world accepts Ukrainians as refugees with no specific procedure in terms of, applying for visa, in most of European countries, Ukrainians just arrive at the border and enter and get registered as refugees, while South African procedure is still the same. You need to go to the embassy, apply with the documents, but South African embassy has been closed in Kiev and they don't have them in all the countries, so it's quite difficult while people are displaced and live in already a stranger country. They need to travel to another country to get to the South African embassy to submit the documents. That also is difficult to receive considering the circumstances. So, we believe that these processes could have been made easier. Also in terms of prolonging visa for those who are already in the country, because they enter by visitor's visa for like a few months, and then to be here legally they need to extend it, and with all the backlog with the THA, it's just impossible. It's a big struggle.
Do you read that unaccommodative posture as far as those issues that you're raising are concerned, as South Africa may be taking sides?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Well, it looks like it's very clear, which side they've taken, not just looking at the visa situation, but also other things that have been happening, including the military exercises that are happening right now in KZN. So, it does seem that South Africa is big friends with Russia at the moment, unfortunately.
So South Africa says they remain neutral regarding this conflict. In fact, they're saying we routinely conduct drills with many countries, including France, including the United States. That's what Dr. Naledi Pandey says. We don't know what the big deal is, because if we are taking sides, then surely we would not be conducting such drills with the United States or with France. So we do that with all countries.
Well, the big deal is, and the big difference is that the Russian ship that has arrived to South Africa to conduct these drills it has signs on it, letter Z, letter V, that are symbols of Russian invasion of Ukraine. Those ships are used to throw bombs from Black Sea into the civilian areas of Ukraine. They are killing hundreds and thousands of people daily from those ships. So you tell me if it's a regular procedure, regular routine or not to have drills with such a ship in South Africa.
Yeah. So are you,
Yeah.
well, I mean, the military exercises have already started. They are being conducted. Are you trying to get some kind of reaction from the world to South Africa because of this? Because I suppose the actions are not going to stop South Africa from conducting these joint military exercises.
Well, interestingly enough, we obviously are trying to raise our voice to protest against this, but the journalists from overseas are contacting us themselves. The whole world, since the visit of Lavrov a few weeks ago when he arrived to Pretoria, we've been getting calls from European countries, England, Germany, France. People are calling us asking questions. What's going on? What's your reaction? What does it all mean? Even now, we have people from Portugal, meaning the world is watching and the world is asking questions, and South Africa will be held accountable for this. And unfortunately, it seems that the government doesn't see it that way, or they don't think that way, but we are gonna get sanctioned by the world, and we can't afford it at the moment. By we, I mean South Africa. The economy is already so fragile. We can't spoil our relationship with other trading partners, because besides Russia, we have many other friends that support us on different levels. And do we want to lose those connections due to this friendship?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So we saw during that week when, of course, South Africa had the Russian representative come in. We also saw the Europeans come in. We also saw the United States all coming in. And South Africa saying, well, that's an indication that these exercises will not dent South Africa's relationship with our big trading partners, such as the United States and Europe, because they can see we are not taking sides.
Look, only time will tell. We can't obviously see the consequences immediately, but what can I say now? They are neutral, but there was not one moment when South Africa invited Ukrainian representatives to the table. It was all this year that the correspondence was happening between Russia and South Africa. There was not one conversation with Ukraine about anything. So I'm not sure about not taking sides or neutrality. It really seems very one-sided to the logical, observers.
All right. So tell me about your program of action then as Uasa. What are you going to be doing about this and some of the protests that you're embarking on?
We have been on the streets, to put it that way, since Wednesday last week. There were numerous protests in Cape Town last week. On Saturday, we were out in Durban at Umhlanga Promenade doing a peaceful march. Yesterday, there was a protest in Pretoria in front of the Russian embassy. Tomorrow, there will be a protest in Cape Town in front of the City Hall, Durban Harbour in the morning, and Richards Bay as well. We're also, as a Ukrainian Association, are doing a contemporary dance performance that is called We Stand for Freedom, that had opened today and will be happening tomorrow on Saturday and Monday, if I'm not mistaken. So, Look, tomorrow is going to be 1 year since the full invasion started, and it's the whole world will be marking it, and the whole world will be talking about it. So yeah, it's a very, very sad day tomorrow, and a big day in a way. So yeah, that's so our aim is to pretty much make noise and bring awareness to the situation in Ukraine as well as South Africa, and also to tell the South African government that we still call upon them to condemn this unprovoked and unjust invasion of Ukraine. We call them to stop any collaborations with Russia. And rather use all the resources that are going into this military training to use them elsewhere for the damages resulted from the floods in South Africa, ESCOM situation. We've got so much stuff to deal with, so yeah.
All right.
That's pretty much.
Katya, do you have other associations that are joining your protests, other refugee formations?
Look, we've had quite a few. We have a list of organizations from peace, environmental, human rights, faith sectors that are joining us tomorrow in Durban, in Richards Bay, also Cape Town. I don't remember the names, but there is a list in our press statements and memorandums. So there are quite a big number of organizations that are feeling the same way as the Ukrainian Association.
All right, fantastic. Katya, I appreciate your time and thank you very much for coming on and outlining this for us. That's Katya Fedkina, Ukrainian Association of South Africa's spokesperson, outlining some of their campaigns.